my mother never had a full night of sleep, not because of nightmares, not because of back and knee pain, but because of something that seemed simple, noxuria. Once, then twice, sometimes 3 times in one night. Every time I had to jump up, find my slippers, open the door, walk through the cold hallway in silence. When I returned to bed, my eyes were wide open, my heart was tired, and my sleep had flown away. Every time my mother opened the door, I woke up too. Even though I didn't say anything, I still lay under the blanket, clearly hearing my mother's slow footsteps on the floor. Then I heard the sound of the bathroom door, the sound of the water flushing, then the sound of footsteps returning. Those sounds repeated over and over like a familiar sadness every night. And the next morning, my mother appeared again with sunken eyes, slightly hunched shoulders, and a languid gait. At that time, I knew that if I did nothing, both my mother and I would get used to this fatigue as if it were normal. And I didn't want that. I didn't give my mother any more diuretics. I didn't advise her to hold back on water, because I knew that would only make her more tired. I chose another way. I started paying attention to the vegetables in my dinner. Unexpectedly, there were vegetables. When eaten at the right time, in the right way, that would silently help my mother urinate more easily during the day and sleep better at night. No medicine, no major intervention. Just being observant, gentle, and a child willing to change a little every day. Malabar spinach is a vegetable that my family has grown since I was a child. In a corner of the garden, a few vines, watered for a few days, and it will be green. In the past, my mother cooked Malabar spinach with crab, with mussels, with tofu. Just pour it into hot rice and it was enough. I used to consider it a normal vegetable, even too common to care about its uses. Until one time I read a small study. Malabar spinach is rich in natural mucus, mucilage, which helps soothe the bladder lining and helps reduce noxuria, especially for the elderly with weak kidneys or urinary disorders. I didn't say anything. I just started cooking Malabar spinach soup with minced shrimp or soft tofu, adding a slice of fresh ginger to warm the stomach. The soup is simple, green, soft, and light. My mother breathed a sigh of relief after eating. This dish is easy to eat. My stomach is not as heavy as the previous days. I continued to cook a few more meals. And then one afternoon, while washing my hands, my mother said softly, "It's strange, my child. I don't have to go out at night much these days." I didn't say anything. I just watched my mother pour water, walking more lightly, and I was so happy that I couldn't breathe. No medicine needed. No prescription needed. Just a bowl of Malabar spinach soup, simple, quiet, but it seemed to soothe a long night that had kept my mother awake. Broccoli, or broccoli, is a vegetable I used to find a bit Western, a bit dry. Not as soft as Malabar spinach, not as fragrant as basil, and not the dish my mother used to cook. But one day, I read this line: broccoli is rich in sulforaphane, a precious active ingredient that helps fight inflammation silently in the body, helping to reduce pressure on the kidneys and bladder. I was startled, because many older people have noxuria not because they drink too much water, but because their kidneys are weak or their bladders are slightly irritated without them knowing. I didn't ask my mother. I didn't explain. I just quietly steamed the broccoli until soft, mixed lightly with extra virgin olive oil, and added a little pink salt. One day, I mashed the broccoli with soft potatoes, cooked it into a warm soup, both sweet and easy to digest. My mother ate, didn't ask anything, but ate it all, and ate more than usual. No need to ask, is it good? Just seeing my mother sleep until morning, not waking up in the middle of the night, I know I made the right choice. Broccoli was not my mother's favorite dish from the beginning, but perhaps, thanks to it, my mother's sleep was no longer disturbed by a single nighttime urination. Bok choy is a vegetable that I don't think much about. It is often present in a bowl of noodles, a bowl of noodle soup. Healthy, soft, easy to eat, but few people pay attention. Until one day, I read a line that made me stop for a long time. Magnesium deficiency is one of the reasons why older people have trouble sleeping, often wake up in the middle of the night, especially urinating many times without knowing the reason. And bok choy, that seemingly simple vegetable, contains a rich amount of natural magnesium, is extremely easy to digest, has little fiber, and does not cause a heavy stomach. I started trying to add bok choy to my mother's dinner. Some days I stir-fried it until soft with lightly fried garlic. Some days I steamed it with tofu, poured with light soy sauce. It's not a new dish, but my mother ate it all, without leaving a single piece. Needless to say, just the next morning when my mother came out of the room, smiled, and said, "I slept soundly last night without waking up once." I felt relieved. Bok choy is not a superfood. But for me, it is the vegetable that helped my mother regain peace during the long nights that were interrupted by the sound of footsteps going to pee. After about 2 weeks of persistently changing my dinner, nothing fancy, no medicine added, just adding Malabar spinach, broccoli, Chinese cabbage, simple rotation, I began to see things that I didn't have before. Mom slept more deeply. No more door opening at 2 a.m. No more hunched figure in the dark going out to the hallway. When she woke up in the morning, she walked slowly but straight. Her eyes were bright. Her skin was less pale. And what touched me the most was when she said, "I don't know why I've been sleeping better lately. It must be because of your dinner." I didn't need anyone to compliment me. I just needed my mom to feel lighter and to have a good night's sleep, not because she had to pee, not because she was startled. I realized there are things that don't need to come from medicine. There are recoveries that don't need to be flashy. All it takes is someone who cares enough and is willing to cook a simple meal again with just the right few vegetables. Because care is not always about the big things. It's about the regular repetition of a small thing done with love. If you are taking care of your parents like me, don't rush to find sleeping pills or really expensive supplements. Try to look back at the dinner tray, see what needs to be changed, what should be lightened. Because sometimes, what makes the elderly lose sleep is not because they are seriously ill, but because their bodies are trying to endure too much, even if it is silently. I chose vegetables again. I chose Malabar spinach instead of water spinach, cauliflower instead of carrots, Chinese cabbage instead of mustard greens. And in return, I have peace of mind when my mother sleeps straight from evening to morning without having to step out in the middle of the night. I share this not for anyone to follow. I just hope, if you see something in this video that is similar to your family, try changing a vegetable dish, a way of cooking, a little attention. Because who knows, just a bowl of soup with the right vegetables at the right time will help a mother, a father, regain the sleep they lost long ago. And if you find this video useful, please share it with someone who is also taking care of their parents every day. Because sometimes love doesn't need to be said loudly. It just needs to be at the right time, at the right meal, and patient enough.